Ari Tibi is an artist, writer, and musician. Her band Lucy opened for Pat Benatar on her 50th anniversary tour last summer. Now Ari has new music and is here to tell us all about it. Ari, nice to have you here.
Hi.
Can I call you Ari?
You can definitely
I feel like
call
really
me
close,
Ari.
like there's a bond here, musical bond.
We're friends already.
Artistic bond.
Yeah, creative energy going on. Yeah, I'm Ari.
I have to nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. I have to say, I watched your videos and I love your art, but you have, there's a richness and a soulfulness about your music that really spoke to me.
Thank you.
And I think there's kind of an old soul in there. Do you feel that?
Am I allowed to say that? A lot of people
so.
say you can't say if you have an old soul. It's like a secret.
I know, but the truth is that I often talk to musicians and artists, and not all of them have that kind of a connection with another generation. Because I'm of the older generation who really feels that. Yeah.
So okay, nice point there. My parents are baby boomers.
Like me.
Yeah. So they're they flourished in the 60s and the 70s, and I come from a whole family of artists and bohemian creatives who were working in the 60s and 70s as creatives. So I was introduced to the music from back then and the art from back then, and I very much grew up thinking I was born in the wrong generation. Oh yeah.
So who were your influences in that space?
Janis Joplin, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, and so many more.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. And the writers and the journalists, like Gloria Steinem, I was really obsessed with growing up.
Yeah.
I looked to that generation for inspiration because they wanted decoration in every part of their bodies, and they spoke about things that were going on in the world. And in my own music, it's really important to talk about the state of culture and have a voice for people who don't always have one. In the 60s and the 70s, they did that.
And you tell stories in your music.
Absolutely.
And your songs. Tell me about the poetry and how that you weave that musically.
I grew up with a lot of poetry, courtesy of my mother, who's a writer. So words are always kind of bouncing around in my head, and then I'll just grab one when it means something, when it kind of strikes a chord, and I'll write a song about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I understand that when you were a little kid, your mom used to take like pens and color and crayons and stuff for you to doodle.
Who told you that?
And that kind of kept you busy.
Yes.
And I think that kind of continues on in your life, right?
Tell
me about that beginning part.
I always have like pens on me now, and it's because we would go to restaurants and my mom would bring out her backpack whenever like we were waiting for the food, and my brother and I would doodle on the white sheet. Sometimes they had paper on the table. You remember those? Yeah. And other times I would draw myself. So these tattoos were originally just pieces I was drawing like over and over and over again. Constantly just trying to create in every corner of my life. And my parents really encouraged that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see the psychedelic phase in some of your art as well, like some of the pieces that I saw on your website. Kind of cool.
Thank you.
And reminiscent of my era for sure.
Yeah. A lot of color, decoration, patterns. I like it.
But weird patterns, like kind of disjointed and all blending together, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this.
The kaleidoscope of the mind thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I was finding myself in high school, and I think art was my way of holding on to a certain identity, because you get lost with trying to listen to other people and how you should be, but art was my way to kind of rebel.
Yeah.
And I found that really comforting. I could put two different colors that didn't make sense, or two different patterns that didn't make sense next to each other, and not get in trouble.
There's no rules.
I could be a rebel. There was no rules, and no one telling me what to do.
So tell me about your new music. What do we look forward to? What's happening with you?
I'm excited about the songs I'm writing right now because I just wrote a song on banjo, which I've never done before, and I think I am being a lot more honest in my work now than I ever have been. And the truth is, last year I went through a lot of changes, romantic breakups, career shifts. My band Lucy toured like all year, and we released music, and it was incredible, but so many of the pillars of my life literally crumbled that I've found how much words have weight and how to bring my true emotions out into the world. And so now I'm doing that in my music.
Well, I cannot wait to hear you perform here. So we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back and we'll hear from Ari Tibi in just a second. Don't go away.